can invade.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Talkative Mom Show on MX24 with me, Eno Quagraine. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is your ultimate parenting show where we discuss a variety of topics and I hook you up with the best plugs. Now, have you ever thought about adoption in Ghana? I have a guest with me who is going to dissect that topic and we're going to learn so much about it. Now, I'd like to hear from you on all our social media platforms on MX24GH on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Talkative Mom. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Talkative Mom Show. We are at the Float Wellness Spa. You know, this is your ultimate mommy wellness spa where you come in and you get pampered. My lovely outfit is by Epic Store. Epic Store is located at East Legon and it's also on Instagram at Epic Store. Now, today we are discussing adoption in Ghana with a commercial lawyer who goes by the name Cleopatra in Siankitia. Hi, Cleopatra.
Hi.
So, Cleopatra, I just want you to tell us exactly what adoption is. What does it mean to adopt?
Okay, so I try to explain adoption in a way that is not too technical or quote-unquote too lawyery.
Yeah.
So I'd like to just explain by saying that adoption is the process of taking a child that is not your child, and then, I don't want to use the word adopt, but yeah, legally having the child belong to you.
Okay.
So that's just the way I like to explain it to applicants so that it's not too technical.
Right.
I've noticed that in Ghana, both in Ghana and outside of Ghana, people don't really understand the term adoption. Especially in Ghana, people seem to think that adoption is a temporary process or a temporary, legal process, which maybe somebody takes your child or you give your child out to somebody for a while, and then when you're ready, you go back and pick your child. That's what a lot of people seem to think adoption is. But adoption is actually a permanent process or legal process where you actually give your child to somebody else to parent the child legally.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, you specialize in adoption in Ghana. And do people come to you and say, oh, Cleopatra, take me through, the process? Is that something that happens? Because, in Ghana, I don't think that legally people actually adopt.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very informal process where you probably, I don't know if you go to the orphanage and go pick up a child and say it's theirs, or people actually go through the process here.
So there are different types of people who like to adopt. Some people understand the process of adoption and they know that it's a finality, something that's just final. They know.
Right.
And some people also adopt with future things in mind. So most people who adopt from me are international applicants. And for them, it's easy to explain what's happening with them because they understand that this is a process that we are doing. We have to do things the right way. It's going to be permanent because once we come and adopt the children from Ghana, we are taking them out of the country. But I do have a few local applicants who adopt and they know, some of them know what they are supposed to do. So you would have an applicant come in and asking you about adoption in Ghana, knowing that once they adopt the child is theirs forever. Some people also come asking if they can adopt a child, and they are wondering about the processes and what you need to go through. Some don't know anything about adoption. So what I usually explain to them is I sit them down, I explain everything about adoption, the beginning, the end, everything that is required of them. For me, it's very important that people understand what needs to be done because you have some applicants who think that the best way to adopt is to go out there, find a child that they're looking to adopt, and then come and tell us, quote unquote, the lawyers or whoever is helping them that I found the child, I want to adopt, can you do something about that for me? Sometimes you have people asking me to go out there and find children for them to adopt. But
so what's the actual process? We come to you first.
Exactly. So what's going to happen is that people who are interested in adopting, the actual process that they are supposed to take is to go to the social welfare, the Department of Social Welfare, and then find out about the process or find out what they need to do. However, it's not everybody who knows about the Department of Social Welfare. Some people just know they want to adopt and then they just go and ask people. They ask lawyers, they ask families, they ask friends. Some people search out there, and What I've noticed is that it's only been recently that my client list has been by referral. But in the beginning, a lot of people came to us through online searches. So they'd Google adoption in Ghana, and then our name would pop up. But recently, we've had people come in through referral. So the actual step is that the first thing you should do is find the Department of Social Welfare. If you can't do that and you search or somebody recommends that you come to a lawyer, you can come to us. We will explain to you the entire process of adoption. It's not always that you need to go to the social welfare because, as I'm saying, sometimes social welfare don't even explain to you what needs to be done. I've had applicants come and they have been misinformed by the social welfare and they are doing the process all wrong. Sometimes it's because the people who work in the social welfare, they aren't always updated. You have a situation where the laws might have changed, there's a new directive in town, the applicants, they don't really know the applicant's background and then they give them advice. So for me, not to increase my business, but I tell people who are looking to adopt in Ghana to try to start from a lawyer, or they can search for people like me online and then they can begin the process.
So when you say people like you, can you go to any lawyer at all, or you have to go and see a commercial lawyer or a lawyer that specializes in adoption? How would you find out this lawyer specializes in adoption, you know?
So you can actually ask any lawyer, but unfortunately, it's not every lawyer in Ghana who specializes in adoption. I've had a lot of referrals coming from other lawyers. They've begun the process and they've realized that it's something that is not for them, and then they've recommended that the applicant comes to see me. So it's always best to go to somebody who already knows about adoption, because as I said, the law keeps changing and new directives keep popping up. So it's always best to go to somebody who specializes in adoption.
So now you're going to walk us through the exact process. So someone has come to you. I want to adopt. Where do I start?
So the first thing I have to do is I have to find out if the person is allowed to even adopt from Ghana. So if anybody walks up to me or comes into my office and says, I'd like to adopt from Ghana, there are a series of questions that I have to ask them. First of all, the most important thing that we have to ask is, are you married? Because most of the time, as I said, I have international and local applicants, and I've had a few of my international applicants fall in this trap. But if you're not married, you may not be allowed to adopt in Ghana if you are a man.
If you're a man?
If you're a man, yes. If you're a woman and you are single, that is fine. We have the situation where...
Why the case? I'm curious.
I guess it's something about, being Africans, a woman can take care of a child better than a man can. So the only instance, we have special circumstances when a man can adopt a child. And that is if the man is adopting his own biological child. So sometimes you have situations where a child has been given birth to, birth certificate, no father. And then later you find out that the child is your child. You can't just be walking around waving a DNA certificate saying that, oh, this is my child. So you can adopt the child so that on the birth certificate, it says that you are the father. So those are the special circumstances. And sometimes too, I've had applicants where a single man has adopted children because maybe they had a sister, sister died, nobody else is there to take care of the child. The man is single, there's nothing else you can do but just go ahead and do the adoption process. So usually for single applicants, they allow women to easily adopt if they are single. But for men, you have to have a good reason why you are doing the adoption. All right. So now the next process. So they come to you, you find out if they're married or not, and then they have to find out how old they are. Because there's a cutoff age in adoption. So if you are if you're a local person, if you're a Ghanaian adopting, if you're more than 55 years old, you will not be allowed to adopt a child in Ghana. However, if the child is your relative, then the cutoff age is 55 years old.
So you won't be allowed to adopt on what? On basis of what? That age. That you die? And
I guess they are worried about what's going to happen, because if you are 55 and above, you're not adopting maybe a 5-year-old or something, chances that the child will grow up to see you also being alive may not be that high, but they just try to avoid those situations. So we've had applicants that have been 55 and they've come to me and I've given them the bad news and they've been all unhappy. But that's just what the law says. But if you're adopting a relative, then the cutoff age is 65 years old, so you still have some time to go.
So after age, then what next?
Well, we still have to talk about age, because if you're adopting, you have to be at least 25 years old, and the child that you're adopting, you have to be at least 21 years older than the child. So you cannot have a 20-year-old adopting a 17-year-old, because I can adopt you. And also, before I can say that, I guess that joke, I have to explain that adoption, you can adopt anybody between the ages of 0 to 18. After 18 years old, you can't adopt them.
They're an adult.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can't have somebody who is 21 years old saying that I'm adopting my cousin who's 13 because, well, I feel like I can take care of him. You can't have that. You have to be at least 21 years older than the person you are trying to adopt.
Right.
So if you are closer to the 25-year-old mark, you have to be looking to adopt a very, very young child who's probably maximum 3 years old.
Okay, okay. And then?
Yes, and then the next thing they'll do is that they'll check to see if you are medically fit.
Okay.
So when you're applying to the social welfare to adopt, they'll have you do a medical exam.
Okay.
If there are any signs or symptoms that you are not well, there's something wrong with you, you may not be allowed to adopt. It also depends on what is wrong with you.
Okay.
If you have something very serious that will impede your adoption of the child, the DSW, the social welfare, which we call DSW, will not allow you to adopt the child.
DSW means?
Department of Social Welfare. So we just call it DSW.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they'll also check to see your financial background. Obviously, they're not expecting you to be rich, but you have to be in a position to take care of a child because once you have a child, as you will know, a child is a very expensive something to have. So they don't expect you to be a millionaire or anything like that, but when they check your finances, you should be able to take care of yourself, expenses, things that look like it will come up if you have a child. So everybody's financial background is different.
Right.
So you wouldn't expect somebody who's living in the US or something to have the same, or to be expected to take the same boxes as somebody living in Ghana would be having. Okay. Obviously, expenses in Ghana is not as much as if you were living in the US or so.
Standard of living,
exactly.
All that's different.
So we look at that, and then the DSW judges if you are financially capable of taking care of the child. Okay.
So talking about finances, how expensive or reasonable is it to to adopt? So
if you're adopting locally, there are so many things that pop up during the adoption process, and I may not be able to touch on the exact amount that you will spend. Okay. But when you start adopting, there are three things that we usually categorize them in three different boxes. Okay. So you have the social welfare fees. Okay. And then you have your legal representative or any adoption agency that is helping use fees. And then there's something that we call third-party fees. Okay. So I'll start with the DSW fees. Social welfare has a set fee that they charge for applicants. Okay. They have local applications and then international applications. I'll focus on the local ones because we are talking about that one. Right. So when you go to the social welfare, they expect you to pay a fee. Usually, before it wasn't that way. Before adoptions were free. Oh. When I say free, I use the term very loosely. Okay. Because it's the application to adopt which was free. Okay. But the steps going through it, medicals, all those things, you had to pay for it. Okay. But now social welfare have put in place a fee that you have to pay. The last time that I checked, which was a couple of weeks ago, the fee was around 3,000 cedis. So you pay the fee, and then you apply to adopt from the social welfare, and then they take you through all the process and everything that you need to do. Okay. But then when you finish with that, I'll move on to the third-party fees. There are also certain fees that come up which do not fall into the box of the application fee. For example, as I said, you found the child needs adoption, the child does not have any medical background, you don't know who this child is. Is this child sick? Does he have HIV? What condition is the child in? So social welfare can tell you that. So social welfare will ask you to either take the child to the hospital, or social welfare will do that on your behalf. Okay. And then they will have the child checked. And depending on the exams that you do, the hospital that you go to, the prices are all different. Right. And then maybe we may need to do other things. For example, maybe the child is in an orphanage and they need some help in the orphanage. So you can do some donations to the orphanage so that they take care of not just the child, but all the other children in the orphanage. So there are other various things that will occur during the process. Maybe you found the child, you want to adopt the child is in Kumasi, but you live in Accra. Social welfare has to send somebody there to do a report on the child to see if the child can be adopted. All these things, some expenses may come in which social welfare will expect that you assist them to do. So for the third-party fees, I can't really put a price on it. Yes. So we tell applicants to be open to whatever happens as and when it happens. Yeah. And then we have the legal fees or the adoption agency fees, which will be our fees. So for us, our fees are a bit flexible. What we do is that we have sometimes some people are interested in doing most of the work themselves. Okay. So if we have an applicant who maybe is interested in just one or two things, some applicants come and they only want us to help with the legal part. So we charge them for just the court part and maybe getting the paperwork. Okay. Some applicants want you to help them from the beginning, helping them fill out social welfare forms, assisting them to go to social welfare, and that gets everything. Pricey, yes. Yeah. So it depends. So for us, our fees start all the way from 5,000 cedis upwards because there's so many things that have to be done. Right. And it's very important to know that adoption can take up to a year because once you apply, social welfare, you explain who you are. Right. So going back to the process of application or applying to adopt in Ghana, That's the list of things that I said that you can bring. It's just basically you introducing yourself to social welfare and explaining to them that this is who I have. I want to adopt maybe a child who is 0 to 6 years old.
Yeah.
This is basically everything that I have to tell you.
Yeah.
Social welfare accepts the application, reviews it, checks on everything that you've given them, and then they say, okay, we accept your application. You want a child, a boy who is 4 years old. We will do our best to go through a list of available children to adopt and see if we can find you a boy who is 4 years old.
Right.
Now, the reason why adoption takes that long is because of an applicant's preference. So if you come and you say a boy who's 4 years old, social welfare will check all the orphanages around.
For that exact, yes.
Yes, and that takes a while.
Yes.
So if you are lucky, and the first place social welfare checks, there's a 4-year-old boy who's available for adoption, great. You can complete your adoption within maybe 3 months. But if you're not lucky, and there were 10 other people ahead of you who also wanted to adopt a boy who's 4, you're on a waiting list.
This conversation is actually getting very exciting. And I can't wait for us to delve deeper. So we'll go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling.
It's almost that time of the year. We're counting down to Accra's creamiest festival event. This Christmas season, ARC Event in partnership with MX24 is freezing the time to give off a frozen experience. It's Ice Cream Fair 2021, the Time Freeze edition. All day and into the night, we're freezing the time with all your favorite ice cream flavors from Accra's finest ice cream vendors. Get ready for the live music, the photos,
I got my hands on your
the giveaways, the games, and more of those fun activities the whole family can enjoy. The Ice Cream Fair is on Boxing Day on the 26th December 2021. Get a stand now. Call 055-80-774-40 and follow at Ice Cream Fair Ghana on social media to stay posted for all updates. The Ice Cream Fair 2021, hashtag the Time Freeze edition, powered by ARC Event in partnership with MX24.
Welcome back to the Talkative Mom Show. We are still discussing adoption in Ghana with our lawyer, Cleopatra Nsianketia. So, Cleopatra, before the break, we were discussing the specifications that people have when they're adopting. So they'll say, oh, I want a 4-year-old son, I want this, that sort of thing. Now, I want us to move to the other side of it, which is people who want to give up their kids for adoption. How easy or difficult is that process?
It's a fairly easy process if the person really wants to give up their child for adoption. And I'm saying this from experience. I recently had a situation where an applicant thought they wanted to, well, a baby mother thought they wanted to give up their child for adoption. And then we started the process, and then 1 year down the line, she started to like get cold feet, pulling herself back, and it's caused an extreme mess because the applicant came all the way from the US and they wanted to adopt the child, and for a year they thought the process was going to happen, only to get down, and then all sorts of things have happened. So whenever somebody wants to give up their child for adoption and they are 100% serious, they have to go through a series of steps at social welfare. Social welfare will first come and do something like a child study report, where they will check a social inquiry report, where they will check to see if the mother is really serious about what they are doing. So they will ask them if they understand what giving up their child means. They will ask their family. They'll just do a check to see what is really happening. What are the reasons?
Actually want to.
Exactly. Because some people are giving up their children for adoption because of poverty. And in Ghana, poverty is not a reason to give up your child. So most people think that, oh, I can't afford to take care of my children. There's no food. Let me give them out for adoption. Social welfare actually has programs in place where when anybody says that they want to give up their children or their child for adoption because they can't take care of their children financially, there are programs that social welfare put in place to help them to come out of that poverty. Obviously, this is Ghana, so it's not everything that always works. They try sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work, and then people still give up their children for adoption. So if you wanted to give up your child for adoption, if social welfare does all these checks and all these interventions and nothing happens, then social welfare will write a report recommending that this woman has said that for ABC reasons, they can't take care of their child, and so they want to give up their child.
And they are writing a report to who? Who's writing this report?
A social worker will write a report to the director of whichever region that they are in, or their boss, to explain that I've been to Lady Joanne's house, and she says because of these reasons, she'd like to give up her child for adoption. And then they put a report down, and then the mother of the child will then have to sign some relinquishment documentation. Again, you can't unilaterally just give up your child for adoption. There's a father and there's a mother. So when both parents are in agreement that they can't take care of the child. That's when you have them sign a relinquishment paperwork, and then they give up their child to the state.
Now, after that process, can you go back? Can you say, oh, you know what, I've changed my mind?
It depends what has happened. If the child has been adopted, then it's too late.
That's it.
But if the child is still in the system and there's something that can be done about it, technically you shouldn't be able to go back. But for human reasons and for the fact that people change their mind all the time, social welfare will allow you to take back the child.
Okay.
After relinquishment, really you shouldn't be. But really it depends on what's happened. And there have been situations where children were on the verge of being adopted legally, and an applicant, a mother has come back to say, I want my child back. And it's caused so many problems, like as I was telling you earlier on.
Yes.
So it is something that really happens.
Yes.
And so the mothers always have to be sure that that's what they want to do.
Okay.
And because of these problems, social welfare is never in a hurry to complete a relinquishment. Sometimes they drag their feet. Sometimes they even...
How long can it take?
It can take as long as... Sometimes social welfare even try to convince the woman not to give up the children for adoption. Because we've seen several situations where people have done this and a year later they miss their children and they want to go back for their children. It's caused so many problems.
Yeah.
So you have children in the orphanages where even though their family hasn't come to see them in years, they don't want to give them up for adoption because of the circumstances surrounding how the children came to the orphanage.
Right.
So it's very difficult, and it also kind of brings problem when social welfare is giving up a list of children who are available for adoption. Because, for example, you come in, I want to adopt a 4-year-old boy. Oh, this boy has been in the orphanage for 2 years. Nobody has come to look for the child. Only for the next day, a mother to go like, you know what, I've changed my mind. It's very difficult, and it happens more than you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about people illegally adopting. Okay.
Yes.
So someone walking to, for example, the orphanage you just mentioned, and then just going there and saying, oh, you know what, I want to adopt this child.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that. Is this is punishable offense, right?
Yes,
this is something that you can actually be in prison for.
Yeah.
Does it actually happen? Do you guys actually go through it the way you actually arrest people who do that? And
if you look in the news recently, it's happened to some people. Most people who get arrested are the social welfare employees. So what happens is that they should know better.
Yeah.
If you are doing an adoption and social welfare is not involved, the court is not involved, it's probably an illegal adoption. And we have situations where people just walk into their relative's house and just take a child. I want to adopt this child, and then they take the child forever. It's not something that I would say is a punishable offense. The law will get you anything like that, but it's not formal. And if you're doing that against the family's will, then that is where maybe at that point in time you're kidnapping the child.
Right.
So you have, if everybody is in agreement and you take the child to your house, it's fine, but it's not legal. There's no legal document that can back you up at that situation. But if you find a random child in the street and just take the child home, that is kidnapping.
so if it's a street child and you say, oh, you know what, I can give you a better life. And, you
need to go through, because every child is a child of the Department of Social Welfare. A child that does not have a parent belongs to the social welfare.
Okay.
So off the record, quote, or on a, not formally, the child is a child of social welfare.
Okay.
But usually what social welfare does is that they get the legal authority by putting a care order on the child.
Okay.
So if
what does that mean?
A care order is just a legal document from the court which gives the social welfare the right to be or act as the parents of the child.
Okay.
So the street children who are around, really, if social welfare takes them, they should be getting a care order which gives them the right to dictate as to what happens to the children. But you have children that are running around and nobody is caring for them. You can't just pick up a child and just take the child home and say, I'm going to take care of the child. It may not be, like I said, an illegal act, but it's not legal either, and it's the borderline. So if you want to adopt a child and you don't include social welfare or the courts, you have to understand that at some point in time, if we circle back to the point, you may be doing something that may be illegal.
Okay, so let's move to family. Now, what's the process like for, like, let me use myself as an example. I want to adopt a sibling's child. Maybe my brother has passed away. I want to adopt his child. Do I come and see you, or can I just take, I mean, that's my niece, so can I just adopt illegally?
So it depends how far you want to take the adoption relationship. Some people don't really want a legal document that says that the child is their child. They just want to take care of the child. If that's the case, fine, go ahead and do that. But if you want to maybe travel with the child, let people know this is your child, put your name on legal documents, be the mother or the parent of the child, you have to go through the social welfare. So the first thing that you have to do, like a non-relative adoption, is to inform the social welfare that this is what has happened. I want to adopt my brother or my sister's child. What do I need to do? Social welfare gives you an application, you fill it just like the non-relative adoption. You take certain boxes, your age, your financial background, your medical background. If everything is fine, social welfare will then contact the family they need to hear from everybody in the family, at least most people around the children.
Okay.
Is this woman the right person to adopt the child? Why is this child being adopted in the first place? Can the whole process be done? Where is the father? Where is the mother? Is there a family head? What does the family head say about this? So there's a whole background investigation. And once social welfare is satisfied with all the information, all the requests and questions, then they allow the mother, if the mother is around, the mother and the father, if they are around, to sign a relinquishment document where they transfer their rights to their other, whoever wants to adopt. But at that point in time, that is not the place where that happens. It's just a document for them to take off their parental rights and then hand it to.
So where does this actually happen?
So it's just a piece of paperwork that can be signed, and then you just notarize it, and then social welfare has it. It's just a relinquishment documentation.
Okay.
So technically, it relinquishes their parental rights to the social welfare.
Okay.
And the social welfare will be giving it back to whoever in the family that is supposed to get to.
Okay.
So it's a quick process for that side.
Right.
But it doesn't end there, because once you have the parents of the child have signed a document and social welfare has the right, now they have to pass it over to the applicant, and there's a whole process that is involved.
That's good.
So that's where they check you to see if you are capable of adopting the child, and this is everything that can happen. So okay, fine. And then they allow you to do something that is called bonding.
Okay.
So sometimes if you have known the child for a long time, maybe the child is like 6 years old or whatever, if you've known the child or the child's life, you may not be required to bond. And bonding
Because
is
you already
just,
have that relationship
exactly,
with the
by
child.
maybe you are coming from London or somewhere, or you haven't really met the child, you want to adopt the child. They want to know that if they give this child to you, you will take care of the child. So they allow you to have some time with the child, and that period is about a month. If after this month,
are there visitations during that period? Like
yeah,
when
social
you're with
welfare.
the social welfare
yes,
will come in.
Yes, they are
Okay.
supposed to come in to
Okay.
check. So you can get a call, or we are coming to the house there Monday, or randomly I'm in front of the gates, open the gate, that kind of stuff. So they just check, and then they make sure that everything is fine during that 1 month period.
Okay.
If it's a family adoption, most of the time social welfare trusts the applicant, because they've asked everybody if you are the right person, and
Right.
everybody has said, okay, sure, you should go ahead. So once this 1 month bonding period is up, social welfare will write a report which says that the 1 month bonding period has been completed. They've looked at you. It looks like you are fit to adopt this child, and so they are fine with you going to court to complete the adoption. At that point in time, the lawyer in me pops out and then applies to court, and then we complete the process in court, and then that's it.
Yeah.
This process can take any amount of time. Depending on how quickly you get that paperwork, depending on how quickly everything goes, you can be done with this within 6 months.
Okay,
That is
that's
if
the
it's
earliest.
a relative.
And that's the earliest.
No, it's not the earliest, but
Okay.
if it's a relative adoption and everything is intact, the paperwork you need, the
Okay.
people who are relinquished, everybody's available, it could take even 3 months.
Okay.
Sometimes even quicker if everybody's moving as quickly as possible. So I don't like to give short timelines to applicants, because if you tell somebody 1 month, in 29 days, they'll be asking you.
Yes, that's
So I usually
true.
say 3 months, even if I know it will take 1 month. So there's space, because anything can happen as social welfare.
Yeah.
And things generally do happen as social welfare.
Okay.
No Ghanaians already. 1 week is always 3 months.
Yeah. So you have to be patient.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So in the case where a dad has found out that this is my child,
Yes.
at the beginning you were citing that where
Yes.
you can adopt your own child
Yeah.
when you find out. So you've done a DNA test, you found out this is my child, but
Yeah.
you've never been in the child's life.
Yeah.
But the DNA test proves that you are the father, and
Yeah.
now you have the resources, you have all that to be able
Yeah.
to take care of the child. Is it possible that the mother can say, no, I don't want you to adopt my
Yeah.
child, and that's that?
Yeah.
Or, does this become a legal issue where they have to go to court because, the man can't take care of the child?
Unfortunately, you can't deny somebody their parental rights. And that's the
Okay.
reason why even right before an adoption, a mother changes their mind and they can still take their child back.
Okay.
So you can't deny. So the mother doesn't have any right to say that they will not allow the father to be in the child's life. They have to. And if it has to get to court, it will get to court, because some men are passionate about their children, obviously. And when they find out
Right.
that this child is mine, whatever steps that they want to take, they're allowed to take those steps. But as a mother, you cannot deny a father of the child the parental rights.
Okay, so then the father can go ahead and adopt.
Yes, they can go ahead and put their name on and the paperwork. I haven't been in a situation or seen that actually happen in real life, but from what has happened in other cases, or whatever has happened in practice in adoption, they will be allowed to adopt because it's their child.
It's their child.
Yes.
Okay. So are there any other processes apart from age, finances, and are there any other processes that a person will have to go through, an applicant will have to go through when they're adopting?
No, not really. It's just social welfare just checking you to see if you are capable. And the most important thing is you being financially capable of taking care of the child, and then you being in a physical condition that you can take care of the child.
Okay.
And then just any background information. For example, they will ask you to do a police test.
Okay.
If it comes out that you have certain characteristics in your background, you will not be allowed to adopt. For example, you've abused your wife, you've abused your children.
Okay.
There are some other serious criminal offenses, probably like obviously murder or those kind of offenses that will take you out of contention.
Okay.
But if you have any background whatsoever that says something about child abuse, you will not be allowed to adopt. That is just it's a no-go area.
Right.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's it. Then you just start the process.
That's it. You just start the process. So again, the process takes as long as it will take.
Okay.
And we don't like to give timelines on that. But if you are doing a non-relative adoption, which is a relative adoption where you're adopting somebody who's not your relative, I usually tell applicants to look 6 months to a year.
Okay.
And that's even best case scenario.
Wow.
If it's a relative adoption, then best case scenario, 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
So it's good to look at it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about people who want to give up their kids, right?
Yeah.
Do they also have to come to you, the lawyer, first, or they have to go to social welfare first?
So there's two types of people who want to give up their children. If my applicant who wants to adopt from Ghana says that this is my cousin, or I found this woman and she wants to give a child up for adoption, we on the adopting side are not allowed to get involved. Because at that point in time, it looks like you are coercing the mother of the child to give up the child for adoption. Because if you have a lawyer calling to say, hey, have you gone to the relinquishment? It feels like you are forcing somebody to go and do whatever they need to do. So at that point in time, I usually tell my applicants that I can't get involved, and neither should they.
Okay.
But if the mother of the child randomly comes and says, oh, we want to give up our child, the people they should actually really go to see is the DSW. But sometimes people don't know what to do, so go to a lawyer. And at that point in time, we can help you because it's a legal document which you have to sign and it needs to be notarized.
Okay.
So if I don't know the person who wants to adopt the child, I can just help you with the process and then we can get it done.
Right.
But usually social welfare should do that.
Right.
But I know the country that we live in, if you depend too much on the government system, you may not get what you want when you want it. So lawyers or people like me are around to make the process smoother or quicker.
Yeah. So over a period of time, I know you've been a lawyer for a number of years. How long has it been?
6 years at the bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think that adoption has become more popular now? Is it picking up more now, or are people doing it legally now? That's why it's
that is it. Yeah. So now people are doing it legally.
Okay.
Because at first adoption was you would think that people aren't adopting in Ghana, but it would be crazy to think that, because even 5-6 years ago when I started doing adoptions, I've had people call me anonymously. When I come to your office, will you ask me for my name? Will people know? People are always just trying to sneak around. People don't want people to know that they're adopting. I guess the perception of being looked at as if maybe you are barren or you're not capable. I even had one applicant at one point in time pretend that she was pregnant to her husband. And she lived all the way in the north. And she would tell her husband that she was coming to Accra for medical checks. And every time she comes, she'd buy a new baby bump to increase the size of her baby bump.
Wow.
And then she was pretending to be pregnant. So she was never with her husband until one day she called her husband to tell her husband that, oh, I've given birth on one of my checks. It was premature birth. And the husband came all the way from the north, happy to see his wife and child. And I only got to know about this because the applicant wanted me to help her with the legal part of the adoption, because she had actually gone to a hospital and she had gotten a child from a hospital and she wanted me to help her legalize the whole process.
You can do that? Can you?
You cannot do that. That is illegal.
No, I mean, I'm talking about going to a hospital for a baby. Yeah.
It's totally illegal.
Wow.
So that's why when people get arrested, the social welfare workers and the doctors get arrested. You will see applicants getting arrested, but not as frequently as the doctors and the social workers. Because what happens is that they shouldn't be doing that. If somebody comes and abandons their child, the first person you should call is social welfare, not the applicant who has paid you for a child.
Right.
So you contact social welfare. Social welfare shouldn't even be saying that because you called me, I'll give you the child. They should be referring the child to the system and then going through the process of understanding what has happened and then adding the child to the list of children who can be adopted. Not giving the child to you because you reported the adoption.
So this is something that's actually happening.
It's happening all the time.
Wow.
There are baby farms there. If you call hospitals and you are sneaky enough, you will get somebody who will tell you that for an amount of money, they will put this child aside for you. They'll talk to social welfare for you. They'll keep the child for you. And then they'll ask you to pay for the expenses, the medical expenses for everything that they are doing. It's pretty much just buying a child.
Right.
And I've had calls from people like that. People have called me, oh, and I went to this hospital, and there was this child there, oh, can you help me?
Oh, no.
And I've asked them, have you been to social welfare? Right. No. Have you done everything you asked? No. Can you just help me? I've had applicants who have done this thing. They've gone to the US Embassy, UK Embassy, trying to get a visa for their child to travel. They've called the child their child on the application form. They've been asked to bring a prenatal or antenatal or DNA test, and then they can't. And then they come and then they want you to backdate documents and stuff. And I've informed them that, I'm sorry, this is something that you can't do.
Yes.
If you've gone to, some of them have even taken the children out of the country with quote unquote the child's birth certificate having their name on it, and
Which
now
is obviously a fake birth certificate.
Yes, and then they're in a situation where now they want to permanently relocate the child, and now they're being asked for DNA and all those things, and they can't provide it. So now you've lied to the US government, the UK government, saying that this child was your child.
Right.
Now you have to go and explain that actually it's an adoption. And people have gotten into so much trouble because of that.
Yeah.
But people don't know the right way.
But what is being done now? Are people being
Yeah.
arrested for? I mean, because if hospitals are doing this, these
Yeah.
hospitals
Yeah.
actually have to be reported.
People are being arrested, but a lot of people are in the loop.
Yeah.
So if I'm going down, I'm going with you. So people don't like to report, and people just, and it's a very quick way to make money, because you will not believe how often children are being abandoned. I've been to social welfare, and whilst I was talking to one of the directors there, she'll be receiving calls left and right, abandoned children, abandoned children.
Wow.
And it's something that is happening. So if
But
you're
abandoned in the hospital.
in the hospital,
Yeah.
in the bush, in the toilet, in so many different places. And if you're a social worker who needs some quick cash and you hear about this and you can quickly just do some paperwork and give to somebody to have a child, you are home free. Some of the people who do that, they don't have intentions of taking the children out of the country. They just want a child.
Yes.
And if I have a child in my possession and I can quickly sign some paperwork and give it to you, some people don't know the right way. They think that that is the correct way. They think that if a social worker signs paperwork, that is it.
And it's not.
And the social workers are the ones who get arrested in situations like that because they should have known better.
Exactly.
And it's happening all the time, every day.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
Cleopatra, do you have any final words for anyone out there who's looking
Yeah.
to adopt legally?
Yeah, I think that the right thing to do is always see a lawyer, because
Okay.
social welfare, some of the people who work in social welfare will not always give you the up-to-date information. And most of the time, I find myself correcting some of the things that social welfare have done.
Okay.
Most of the time, I'm just correcting. So even though going to social welfare is a good idea, it's always a better idea to see a lawyer or somebody who specializes in adoption to also help you.
Right.
Because social welfare will not have the time to explain everything to you and show you the right way. Sometimes they're just there to just push the paper and just help you with the stuff that you are doing. Obviously, there are some social workers out there who know what to do and are helping with the process, and that is always good, and it makes our job easy. But if you want to adopt from Ghana, the best thing to do is to talk to a lawyer. I know that it sounds scary sometimes, and it sounds like it's costly, but it's your life, and it's a child's life, and it's something that is permanent, and it's something that can land you in prison. So the best thing to do is to just speak to a specialist and just understand the process, and then just jump on, but also be patient. Because
Right.
adoption is something that takes a while and it can be frustrating. So adoption is a good thing. Adoption is on the rise. Adoption has always been around, and adoption is a blessing. So if you want to adopt, it's a good thing to do, but just make sure that you do it in the right way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very, very, very important to
Yeah.
adopt legally.
Yes.
And be patient.
Yes.
Now, thank you so much, Cleopatra. I've learned so
Yeah.
much. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we get back, we have Work It.
Hi there, I'm excited to come your way with football conversations, sports-related conversations, light-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations about the sport that we all love and are passionate about. Make a date with me.
Hi, welcome to Float Wellness Spa. Hello, my name is Juju Akutu. I am married with two beautiful girls. Welcome to Float. Float Wellness Spa is an organic spa that is set to
create a very beautiful and a safe environment for everyone, especially pregnant women. What we love about services here is that it caters to everyone, especially our pregnant women, our new moms, even kids can come around because every products that we use here is organic. Majority of the products we even use for our pedicures and our body scrubs are like homemade by me with lots of love. So coming to Float is a lot of pampering, a lot of love, a lot of healing, and a lot of restoration. There are a number of services we offer here. We have organic pedicure. Everything we do is organic. So we have beautiful organic pedicures. We have the classic. We have the citrus splash, which is like a popular one, full of citrus fruits and mints and Epsom salts and essential oils. It is to make you relax. We have the earthy blue that we use, the butterfly pea flower, and also lemons to make your feet feel amazing. It also has healing properties. And then we have the sweet, zesty ginger and lemongrass pedicure that people absolutely love. And for people who like to go the extra mile to feel very spoiled, we have the milk rose bath for you, just for your feet. So you can imagine, that's just for the pedicure. We also have amazing body services, body treatment services, including body scrub. We have massages. Our massages are amazing. We have facials. We have organic. We have spa med facials as well. We also offer hydrotherapy for pregnant women. We have a wide range of services for pregnant women, as you already know. We offer doula services as well to support the woman throughout her journey with pregnancy and even after birth. Even with our manicures, everything is organic. Right from the polish we use, our gel polishes are all organic, non-toxic. It is really safe, so even your children can come around and play around. Even with the extensions, it is made in such a way where it is totally safe, no toxins anywhere. So you can imagine very safe treatments in a very soothing and beautiful environment, if I should say so myself. We look into not just healing people physically, but we also like to cater for the mental and emotional sides as well. So we provide services like counseling, fitness coaching, a talk with the midwife, a talk with a physician, a talk with just anything that makes you feel at home. So it's sort of like a holistic spa where we take care of the body, the mind, and the soul. All you need to do is book an appointment, say exactly what you need, and then we would have the right therapist ready to serve you at Float Wellness Spa. I've been in the wellness industry for over 12 years. I started as a student just after my education in the senior high school. I went to FC for a while, and it has always been a passion, but I started developing it after secondary school, right before you go to uni. So learning the process and seeing how it made people feel, I was so eager to do something for myself in that industry. So I ended up setting up a little spa in my parents' home for a very long time. I've been there for over 8 years and then finally moving here. The journey has been so insightful because for me, it has been a lot of up and downs. It has taught me a lot of things. I've moved from doing hair, makeup to organizing hair shows, educational shows, training people, to all this to find what the true purpose of wellness means to me. So fast forward, I realized that I was more into impacting people, and there was a way I could do that with spa services. And that is why our services are always special, because coming here has been a journey. It has been a growth process for me as well. So it's easier to impact people that have also or are now also going through the same journey as I have been through the wellness services. So now we are here. We've just moved to East Airport, and we are a fully blown wellness spa. When I say wellness, we are making sure your whole body, your mind, and your soul is in sync. just to make sure that you are well, you are fit, you are restored, you are rejuvenated to also achieve your aims and goals in life. Challenges as an entrepreneur has been a lot, and even as a mom, it's been very difficult, to be honest, because trying to keep your business is like your baby as well, you know. Even as an entrepreneur, even before becoming a mom, one of the biggest challenge is finding the right staff, you know, the right team to work for you. And I think that the human resource for every business is like the main thing. Getting the right team, making sure that they're on the same page with you and delivering on the standard that you desire for your customers to enjoy. So definitely human resource has been a challenge, but we are working through it. It's been better. It's been far better than before. And as a mom, I think one of my biggest challenges is time management. Every business is like a baby, as I said before, and I have other babies at home. Making time for each baby has been a challenge because you're trying to give everyone your 100%. So sometimes you see that the family is lacking and then the business is enjoying, or sometimes the business is enjoying and the family is lacking. I have come to a point where I have to find, I don't know if it is balance or whatever, but I have to find a routine around it. So what I did to help me is to set some days where I do not focus on work. I mean, I make sure that things that I have to do, I do. Get my kids ready for school, drop them at school, pick them up. Definitely, I'm doing that. I have to at least leave one day out of the week for them. Like, don't call me on a Sunday. Like, don't call me about work on a Sunday. It's for my home. It's for my kids. And it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy, but I think as we journey on, we find ways of making things work for us. And with the understanding that everything cannot be perfect at the same time, it's kind of soothing to know that handling one thing at a time, at least at this time, if this part of my life is doing well, I'm happy. And then the next time I can sacrifice that part of my life a little bit so that the other side can also be happy. So we are still on the journey, and we are hoping that it gets better. I believe that there's always light at the tunnel, and I believe that there's always a reward for the purpose on which you've been set on. Knowing that it's not a straight path is very comforting. So light at the tunnel for me now at this current point of my life is like my number one mantra, knowing that at the end of the day, God has put you on a particular journey, and no matter what you're going through, there's always light at the tunnel. So the focus is on the prize, the focus is on the reward in everything that we do in this life. And that is what we live by. So you can find us on Instagram as Experience Float. You can find us on Google if you want. Just type Experience Float or Float Wellness Spa. Or you can reach us directly on 02444 66966. Or if you want to get in touch with me personally, you can reach me on 0243 229628.
What questions are on your mind? Does partisanship permeate every aspect of Ghanaian life? Can Africans truly run their own affairs without a need for foreign aid? Do you have absolute confidence in the ability of security agencies to come to your aid when you need it? Do the emergency lines in this country even work? For answers to these and more, join me, Noang Falong, on MX24.
Welcome back to the Talkative Mom Show. That was Jijo Akutu of Float Wellness Spa, a mommy wellness spa right here in Ghana just for mummies, and you can also enjoy doula services. Thank you, Jijo. You're doing amazing. Now, today I have my mom plug, who is Mami. Mami has been my mom plug for a long time when it comes to accessories, and today she's going to show us how to properly accessorize, no matter what you're wearing, no matter your hairstyle, you know, you name it. So, Mami, Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So today, what exactly are we going to? What is all this? What are you
So
displaying?
today I'm displaying a variety of headpieces and
Okay.
earrings, from turbans to headbands to scrunchies, and something for the bride, and then access earrings that you can wear both day and night, casual and dressed up. Yes.
Okay. So these are things that you have made yourself.
Yes, I make everything myself with my fingers.
Wow. Okay, so what inspired this business?
Okay, so initially I started off with making, initially, I have never been a fashion person, never gone to fashion school, nothing like that. My background is actually finance.
Oh, wow.
But then I had my daughter, and then whilst going through a divorce, and you know when you have a little kid, you lose a lot of sleep. So I was struggling with those two at the same time.
Okay.
And then I decided, there was a kids party, then I decided to create a headpiece for her. We went out and everybody loved her headpiece.
Oh, wow.
So I came back and I was like, you know what? I can actually start something.
Yeah.
So, and back then we only used to use Instagram for fun, right? And there weren't a lot of users. So that evening I was like, okay, you know what? Set up an Instagram page, thought of the name Cherry Baby, which actually means happy baby, because my daughter is a very happy child. So it was like Cherry. I didn't want to use happy baby. That's so lame.
Yeah.
So it's like Cherry Baby. Set it up, created a few pieces, put it on,
Yeah.
and then literally the followers started. People started ordering.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I really wanted it to be an organic growth. So I didn't tell a lot of my close friends that this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I didn't tell people that I knew. I just posted it just to see if I would get real feedback and if there really was the need for it.
Right.
And obviously there is.
How long has it been since you started?
It's 6 years in February this year. It was 6 years in February this year.
Wow.
Yes.
So you started with headpieces for little girls.
For little girls, okay.
Yes.
And then the clients grew, the clients base grew, and then some mothers then started asking for headpieces for themselves, and they really wanted fascinators.
Okay.
But remember, I didn't go to this kind of school.
Yes.
So at the beginning, I actually used to always decline mothers. I'm like, I only strictly for kids, because that was the vision of the business.
Right.
But sometimes you have to tune your vision to the demand of the client. So that's how you
Exactly.
grow.
Okay.
So I had a number of mothers asking, and I was like, you know what? Personally, I'm also not a fascinator person.
Oh,
So
so
yes,
yeah.
I'm not a fascinator person. So I was
Okay.
like, you know what? What other accessory do people like? Like, what do I like? It's like, I like earrings.
Okay.
And I'll do headbands. So I started off with the earrings. And trust me, the earring product line brings in more money than anything else.
Wow.
People love the earrings.
Yes,
The
yes.
feedback
No,
for the
I love
earrings
it.
is
I'm actually
so
in one of your
positive.
pieces.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw. Thank you.
Okay.
And then with the headpieces, I started off with headbands. So if you go back to our pictures, we make headbands, but they looked like cinema fascinators, but they were actually headbands. So I play a lot with headbands more than fascinators.
Okay.
But now I have taught myself, now you can never say you can't do anything. The internet is your best friend.
That's true.
Google, YouTube, you will sign up for some courses, you can do it wherever. So I've taught myself a couple of cinema-based things so I can speak to the other clients as well.
Okay, so now you do earrings, you do the headpieces, and I'm seeing bags.
Yes, so
Yeah.
so I don't know, a lot of creatives, we get bored easily.
Okay.
We get inspired by so many things that we see around us.
Yeah.
And again, I still wanted to stick to accessories, all types of accessories. So this year I was like, okay, I made a handbag for myself. And this, I always do this. I do the first piece, I wear it around a bit, see the feedback, and then I know if to. So that's like my own market research.
Right.
So I did a bag for myself, played around with it, took it out a number of times, maybe for a month. Actually, the bag has been around since August.
Let me just see the bag.
Yes, sure.
Wow.
It's been around since August.
Okay. Oh, this is so pretty.
And then I was like, perfect timing to launch it would be towards the end of the year when people are looking for gifts for their friends, their
Yes.
moms. It's a perfect gift for them. So
Okay.
yes, that's why.
Right. And I
this
love
is-
the bow.
Thank
It's so
you.
pretty.
The bow also doubles as a way to close it because normally these bags there's no way to close it, but if you see, it's really shut over here. So when you want to open it as well, you untie the knot and you open it up, and then it's open.
Okay, okay.
And it comes with an velvet insert
Okay.
for those who don't want their items to show. You just put everything, and everything literally fits in here.
Oh,
and then
okay.
you close it and put it back
Right,
in.
okay.
I mean, it looks small right now because there's nothing in it, but
Yeah.
everything does fit in there.
But I know people don't know, but you also have, like, I know what you're wearing. What you're wearing is one of your pieces.
One of our creations, yes.
So you also have clothes?
Yes,
for
a mommy and me line. Because
Okay.
sometimes you do get a few clients that come in like, oh, can you make something for myself and my daughter? I'm doing a shoot or this or that.
Okay.
And I really wanted to step out of the norm of doing tutus. Yeah, because there are a lot of people who do tutus and they are very good at it also. So why take that market when you can do something else? You know, I don't like being in a concentrated space.
I know that about you. No, it's true. That's actually very true. Yes.
I don't like that because everybody has their gift. So give it to them to do, and then you do something else.
Different. Yeah. Okay. Let me have a look at some of these, accessories. So these are for like any hairstyle, right?
Any hairstyle. So we can actually try this on.
Okay.
So you can, with hairstyle like this, with some pieces in the front, you can just put this in the middle. And I would usually wear it, bringing it up a bit like this.
Okay.
So yeah, there we have it.
Okay.
And some people would wear it actually sitting on the head
top,
like that also, and it also works. So it depends on the look you're going for.
Yeah.
I find that when you wear it a little bit closer to your forehead, it looks like you've wrapped it, but it's actually, so that's why I prefer that it looks like it's wrapped, but it's a headband.
I want to try this pink one because like I love pink.
Yeah.
This is so
You
pretty.
do say that a lot.
This is really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like for like women, little girls, like everyone can, can look cute.
So
in
this Christmas, actually, we are coming up with a kids version of this.
Oh,
because a lot of
nice.
moms ask us to make this for kids, but as you can see, it fits her head perfectly. Imagine a little child wearing this; it will look a bit out of place.
Yeah, over the
so we've come up with a smaller version, cuter version, also for kids.
Okay.
And one thing I'd like to say about this band is it's a one size fits all in terms of your head size.
Okay.
But some clients have smaller heads, so when they wear it, it slips off. So, and you can always bring it back when you realize that that's happening. We'll then insert a comb.
Okay.
We don't like inserting the comb initially because some people don't like combs. Generally, people don't like combs in their bands. And in general, this fits everybody. So in one-off cases, you can come and then we'll insert a comb.
Okay, lovely. I can also see, what is
turban.
Okay, so you have turbans as well.
Yes.
Okay.
The turbans came up with, the idea of turbans came up when we're thinking, sometimes you want to step out, you don't know what to do with your hair, you're having a bad hair day or something. Just throw the turban on and it looks
and you're
fabulous.
done. Yeah. Oh, this is lovely, Mommy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any advice for anyone out there who's starting any business, their small business at home, or they're combining it with, their 9 to 5? Do you have any advice for anyone?
Yes, I'm actually combining my small business with my 9 to 5.
Okay.
And one thing I would say is this: it's not an easy journey, also being a parent, but you should, if that is what you're passionate about, don't give up on both, because you're doing both because you need both incomes, right? But always, always, always trust your instinct and pray to God for strength, because it is not by our minds that we are here or doing what it is, it's by His. So just, that's all I would say.
Right, trust your instincts. Thank you so much, Mommy, and thank you for tuning in. Today we've learned so much, from adoption to the Mommy Wellness Spa and to starting your own small business while combining it with your 9 to 5. Now, would love to hear from you on all our social media platforms at MX24GH, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Talkative Mom. I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.